A little boy usually starts playing football not because he definitely wants to become a world champion, but simply because he enjoys it. He's good at it and it brings him joy. You have to build your company in such a way that you don't become a prisoner of your own business. Let's try to hire people who are smarter and more capable than ourselves and not be afraid of that.
So tell me, maybe it was the vision, considering that the previous crisis was largely related to the real estate crash. Where did the idea come from that there is still an opportunity in real estate development and you saw that perspective?
I think that's one of the dilemmas. Most people think, and management textbooks also say, that you need to have a crazy vision and a very special idea in order to do big things. And in that sense, I agree that if you have that, then your chances of doing really big and really cool things are greater. But most people, and also most companies, do things for completely different reasons. A little boy starts playing football most likely not because he definitely wants to become a world champion, but simply because he enjoys it. He's good at it, it brings him joy. It's an important part of his life, and everything else follows from that. Those big goals might come to him later. It was the same for us, that I had this background that, in any case, you need to be independent, the master of your own life. The path of an entrepreneur was the path I had definitely decided on for myself. And I knew that the construction and real estate sector would bring me satisfaction. It was a field where something truly always changes as a result of your actions. The urban space gets better. Sometimes it gets worse too if you do a poor job, but something remains from your work here. And usually it remains for hundreds of years. Architecture, creativity, connected with engineering, there were so many nuances. So looking back, we and our business partners at the time didn't have any grand vision. We just knew that we wanted to work in this field. We wanted to execute the process with excellence. And we also aimed to substantially increase our wealth through this activity. That was our first real idea.
So in a way, those values, on the one hand carried us, and you clearly had that passion for the field. And maybe those are the key words, that even if you don't have a clear plan, if you find your passion or love for something and you have the right values in place to support your entrepreneurial journey, then that's actually enough to achieve success.
Exactly. Because on this path, there are so many bumps and failures along the way that if you, so to speak, are only chasing money, or if you have one very specifically defined goal, then the frustration of actually losing money, the frustration that maybe I'll never reach that exact goal that I set for myself. It just knocks you out of the saddle. You just can't survive those tough times that will inevitably come. You have to be passionate about what you do. And then in a way, you don't really care that much. They could tear off all my arms and legs, but since I love playing ball, I'll just keep playing anyway.
Exactly. And in that sense, as I listen to your story now, it seems that the ventures you've started, you've done them on the right foundations, and somehow they've really taken off nicely. And actually several of them have grown big. So is there some kind of, I don't know, some formula for success behind it? Or is it really just that same passion and initiative? And
as much as I have observed other entrepreneurs and looked at the stories of other companies, it would be really nice if there was some kind of formula, but actually every story is unique. And I can share what I think has been behind the success of our companies. And well, one of the most important things is what I've observed. Whenever I have started companies, I have always known right from the beginning that I would never do it alone. I have always had partners by my side, and I have never been willing to start any company alone. I have always found someone to whom I could sell my idea, someone I could get on board who is willing to be in it with me wholeheartedly. This is such a big deal because at the end of the day, you can't really achieve much alone, neither as an entrepreneur nor as an employer. And when you have a partner by your side, the burden on your shoulders is immediately cut in half. Your stress is halved. You have someone to share things with, someone to discuss with. In other words, you have a great sparring partner. This is extremely important. Another thing that we have and that my business partners have as well, with whom we do these things here, we try to hire people who are smarter and more capable than ourselves, and we're not afraid of that. The sooner you realize that you yourself are actually the biggest limitation to your own success, the better. You only have two hands. You have only 24 hours in a day. And if you get stuck within that limitation, well, You can run your small business where you are your own boss. Maybe your wife gets a job too, and maybe the neighbor as well, but you definitely won't build anything big that way. And let's say that everyone, of course, has completely different goals in entrepreneurship. But if your goal is to have freedom, personal freedom, both in terms of time and decision making, then you have to build your business in such a way that you are not a prisoner of your own company. You need to have structure, you need to have people, you need to be able to leave in such a way that everything keeps running. And when you come back, things are in even better shape than when you left. Then you have truly achieved real freedom. If you are a slave to your own businesses, then in some cases, and in many cases, it can actually be even worse than being trapped as a salaried employee, because being your own so-called boss, well, that's the whip.
That usually doesn't end very well for them, right?
No, that whip is actually the strongest of all.